sceneries like from those British poverty documentaries. There's always this, depressing and gloomy vibe. Everything's shot in gloomy weather and edited to be gritty and sad. Today, something for those who are brave enough to venture out and see and experience European long-distance paths. They stretch out from the northern tip of Norway and crisscrossing all over Europe to Portugal and Greece. I'm not going to walk to Greece. I was thinking to make this thing a 2-day, 1-night trip. I'll be covering 20 kilometers on both days. Hiking 40 kilometers a day. It's doable, but there may be blisters. Another thing is ass crack shaving. Of course, you can lube up your crack and then you will be ready for anything. 20 years ago I made this kind of a trip with a workmate. He was a middle-aged man. As the hike ended, boom, he came out of the closet and proposed a lascivious night at my place. He was a respectfully married man. I never would have thought he was gay. That night never happened. I'm going light, no shelter, not too many clothes. The sky is overcast. Unless I know I'm going to be in a lot of rain, snow or wind. I'll leave the very weather specific clothes at home. If I ever have packing regrets, it's usually because I've packed too much, not that I've brought too little. After a few kilometers, you start to thinking about the items in your pack and how it is weighing you down. Two hours in, just follow the red dots. If you're watching this with a bag of potato chips on your belly and you're already sweating through your shirt, you just might be out of shape. Nobody really knows what a fatal heart attack feels like. There's no survivors to tell us. Doctors use words like infarction and fibrillation, but those terms mean nothing to laymen. You just drop dead is what they should say. A small pond, it's frozen. You can visit these kind of places well enough using Google Maps and images. Then your only danger is falling out of the chair if you're blind drunk. I'm here so you don't have to. I'm walking the walk so you don't have to. Total time spent on the move 3 hours 10 minutes, 20 kilometers down. This is good. I'm not duffed up yet. Some light snow dust out in the open. I didn't bother going to the grocery store. I had this American MRE. There's everything in there. There's drinks, there's food. Unveiling the unhouse, the US GIMSS, a place to stay uprooted from distressing dependence on static utilities. I'm not gonna bore you with all the firewood chopping. Heavens have opened up. The good news is it's pretty cold, so this is not wet snow. Pepsi is dead to the max. Those who are interested what's inside this menu 16, I'm not gonna do any breakdown. Plenty of those videos on YouTube. You need to watch one of them. Only sure thing is these are full of preservatives. It makes sense. The food wouldn't be edible if it doesn't last. Rib-shaped barbecue flavor pork patty, rice and beans. Sounds very American. All three main food groups covered: meat, carbs and fat. This fire is not necessary for cooking. I've got this chemical heater to utilize for heating up the food. Now as we got this American vibe going on, a shout out to an American channel. It's in Maryland. Merry Christmas, Maryland. Anyway, the channel is 1972 Woodman. This channel description says no nonsense videos on wilderness, self-reliance, military surplus, philosophy, etc. You know, this guy's strength is whatever he's talking about. You know, the story flows and moves along without impediment and leads ever forward, and finally dumps the viewer out, usually satisfied. He has many comments like an enjoyable chat, a pleasure to watch, etc. Those of you who are YouTubers, maybe you can learn something from him. You don't have to sound like you have a communication disorder in which the train of thought wanders and shows lack of focus, and you keep repeating stuff over and over and over, etc., etc. Check him out. I will leave the link in the box below. All heated up. This opens sideways. It doesn't taste like Kleenex at all. This is great. The Americans probably have the best military rations in Christendom. If I had 5,000 of these rations in a shipping container here, I could become a Finnish hikikomori. You know, those men in Japan who cut themselves off from society. Hikikomori, literally meaning pulling inward. I once saw a documentary about that. Good morning, luxury campers in your Lotus Bell 16-foot deluxe outback glamping tents. USGI MSS $150. Homeless skill level 99. Let's see the morning temp. It's right here, -3. The fire's going again. I believe we got some hot chocolate here. I got this vintage Camillus knife. It's a single-edged Bowie knife, a double-edged near the point. It's at least 40 plus years old. It was one of the kitchen knives in my family back in the day. I'm reading Camillus went out of business, but now they are back selling stuff made in China. All this plastic trash, like most of us. I put all the plastic in the energy waste bin. This time in the fire, but you know, anyway, how does it end up? The blowhole of a whale. The green movement berates us in the West by saying it's our fault and we must do more to stop it. You know, they never say 90% of the world's plastic waste comes from 10 rivers in Asia and Africa. You know, and it's no surprise if you ever traveled to these countries. Most don't give a second thought about throwing trash in the water. The water from the Ganges and the Nile should be filtered before it reaches the sea. This may be interesting mugshots of some high-profile Nordic criminals. They are all on the run, and most of them are Finns. These colored ones are from Sweden. This one was the toughest of them all. He got caught yesterday. The guy lived in the woods. Getting out of there was his downfall. Homo skill level, I give I give 65. Everything packed up, so let's get cracking. $20-kilometer mind cleanse. Someone wanted music to fill the awkward empty spaces in these videos. Do I look like an arty type with long hair and my groomed beard who's dating a tattooed up musician girl? But here's some pop bottle music I made in my kitchen. So, what do you think? Should this be played at high volume, preferably in a residential at night? In this video we were walking a frozen water's edge. This is now Disney's boardwalk resort in Orlando. This is frozen hell in Finland. I'm giving serious effort here. The end of the line is nigh. I'm gonna hop on a train and right back where I started from. Merry Christmas and see you in the next video.